I'm James, the Growth Executive, back for week 11 of the Growth Tactics series. And I want to hit on technology because the question I get asked, probably more than anything, either on LinkedIn when I post something or on direct messages, or even when I talk to clients about these things, is they say, yeah, James, what technology you're using? Happened last week with a client who looked at that video on the survey. They said, oh, it looks like you're using Typeform. Is Typeform the best thing to use? And why did you land on Typeform? And that's great. Here's my theory on why that is. I think a lot of times technology to us as founders, especially tech founders, is kind of a handhold that we can get our head around for the canvas that we're going to paint on, right? Everything else is kind of potentially could be strategic or a little bit more philosophical. And the technology is kind of where rubber hits the road, and it's a little bit easier to get our heads on around it and say, okay, if I know the technology I'm going to use, then I can go about seeing how this is going to work, right? If you're familiar with like EOS, if you're a visionary or an integrator, sometimes as an integrator, I really have a hard time moving forward with a concept until I land on the technology I'm going to use, because that's going to inform how I go about implementing it. So once I kind of land on the technology, then I can kind of reverse engineer some of those bigger questions around process or people, those kinds of things. So I want to challenge that assumption a bit though, and say that as CEOs and founders, let's not lead with product. Even the product that we're building is not what we're leading with. We're leading with the pain that people are feeling, are we not? So when it comes to implementing and leveraging technology, it's no different. We're going to start with the people as the foundation of every decision we make. So when I say things like, yeah, Slack is a great collaboration tool. Collaborate what? Collaborate teams. So the technology that I pick to create collaboration in the team has to amplify the success of the foundation of my company, and that is the people. If I invite my clients or my customers into private channels in my Slack, and I don't do this with everybody, but there's a couple of key ones that I invite into if they want to, that way gives them real-time feedback with my team and allows me some real-time connection to my customers. That's about the people, not the technology. So I'm going to go find the technology that makes that possible, because I'm looking to amplify the people. Now, once I amplify the people, I'm going to define some process. And that process is going to give me efficiencies at scale. It's going to give me some clarity on what's working, what's not. So the process, again, is not as important as the people, but it's way more important than the product. You and I can argue about which CRM might be better. I don't care about the tool. As long as you're using the tool in such a way that amplifies the success of the people, builds on that value set of people first, and then informs the process that you're using, because a tool on a shelf by itself without those layers of implementation are of no value, particularly if you want to be an organization that is leading with people at the center. It's really the foundation and the key. Now, the marketing tech stack that I use it as an example, and this is probably going to be updated, and the problem with creating content like this is about the time you say, hey, this is a good tool, another tool comes along, right? So there's just not, as you know, tools change. So that's why if we build it from a foundation of people first, kind of the foundation of people, what we're trying to accomplish, not amplify our team's success, trying to build on the people, orientate to the humans. Then we move up to the process. Then the technology just is what it is, right? So the debate about AI and all these things just come back to keeping the people core, and then everything else flows from there. But it comes down to the marketing automation to make sure that you're reaching the people in the CRM and engaging with them, because you'd be surprised how many CRMs exist but do not actually build a relationship with the customer. It's a customer relationship management tool. Why are we not doing that, right? So remember, CRMs, credible impact if you're leveraging it with the visibility of the people and how you as a CEO or a sales leader are leading the team in your stand-ups against the dashboards, the data, getting some reports. I've yet to meet a CEO that believes his dashboard or believes the CRM reports anyway, and that's a challenge. I know that. So we say, look, these are like 80% accurate. We're going to go with it. And we can build it over time, but let's make quick decisions now based on what the visibility that we're seeing. And if you don't like the tool telling you the report, the answer is probably not in another tool. It's in the people and the process that got you that data in the first place, right? See my point? Okay, I think I'm beating a dead horse here. So AdRoll, great resource for retargeting. A lot of my customers that are doing pay-per-click ads, my startup does pay-per-click ads. I use AdRoll, gives me a little bit more flexibility. There's a bazillion different tools like Buffer. I just threw it out there because it's the one we're currently using, all the way down to Zapato and Dripify for LinkedIn campaigns. Those are the tools that we're using and kind of how they're being used. If you have questions about any of these, that's great. Just want to challenge you. Don't try to implement all of them. Grab one or two that you feel like gives you the closest perspective or clarity on leveraging the people, building out your process, and then and only then implement the product or the technology to leverage that to get that done. Again, I say it every week. I'll say it again. I'm James at the Growth Executive. Scan the QR code to book a time. Happy to jump on the call. I'll even log into some of my tools and show you how we've set them up and how they relate to one another. All right, I'm James, the Growth Executive. Thanks again. I will see you next week. Bye-bye now.